the entire time, that she plays the act the entire time, but I just never know if she believes it or not. But I did see it. I saw her get pillared. When Peyton Manning calls you a horse, you know you're in trouble. I mean, it was just not a good night for Ann Coulter. But yeah, I thought it was great. And the British comic, what's his name? Oh, I got it here someplace. Is that Jeff Robbs maybe? Or I think it's Jeff.
No, but I know you're.
Oh, not Jeff Ross. No, Jimmy
fantastic.
Carr. Jimmy Carr.
Yeah, Jimmy Carr.
The British comedian. I
brilliant.
love him. I just saw one of his stand-up specials on Netflix the other night. He is known for just one-liners and putting people down, and he can be kind of a nasty guy himself. And he cut her to the bone. I don't even know if I would call that funny. It was just, wow. It was crazy. But good. And I have to tell you. Go ahead.
She got called a lot of things women don't really love to be called. So
right.
It's that was pretty brutal. And
I got to admit to you, I talked to you and Jeff when you and Jeff were first on Left of Straight show last season. I told you I wasn't ever a really big fan of Jeff Ross, and you guys say he's the best guy on the planet. But I saw his show. The making of the roast and the roast battle and everything, and he's starting to grow on me. I'm starting to come to your guys' side there. He's growing on me a bit.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's a good DJ too. He was spinning with the DJ at the after party too. It's pretty fun. I think he's just really down to earth. He's not pretentious. It's like what you see is what you get. And like with Ann Coulter, I just get this sense I don't know where she was educated or like what happened, but there's no wiggle room. Like with people
right.
where there's no wiggle room, there's something going on there. So it's like
that's why I think it's a character. That's why I always thought it was a character. I think you're 100% right there. Give us a little inside baseball, Greg. I mean, this is filmed for TV, so there's obviously commercial breaks. Is there commercial breaks during it, or does it actually go in sequence and they cut the breaks in? And is there people talking between the commercial breaks? Going, oh my God, I can't say that. Or how is this filmed when they do it?
Yeah. It's I've had an opportunity to be actually in the place where they're, where it's being taped, and then also in the press room too, which is actually a lot more fun. The food's better, but but they do. They tape it in those segments that you see, and then I don't know if it's exactly the amount of time that the commercials would occupy. I think they just kind of prep stuff. People come on stage to kind of fix people's makeup. People kind of get refresher drinks on stage and things like that. Like if somebody has a prop for like the next, like Jewel had a guitar, I think they kind of put that up. So they kind of get ready for the next group of folks. But there's a lot of makeup things going on. There's a lot of people getting their faces padded on stage. And I mean, and the people kind of talk to each other and the stars and kind of joke around a little bit. And that's kind of interesting. And then people in the audience are given a cue to kind of quiet down as they kind of get in there. I think sometimes they're given a cue to applaud, maybe, like when they come back in from the commercial break and it starts taping again. So sometimes there's that.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a pretty much big production. But obviously all the jokes that have been written either by some of those folks or the writers of the roast, they're all on teleprompters and, people read them. I think very few people – I think I've seen a few that have memorized stuff or have done stuff like ad-lib. Like Will Ferrell, I think a couple of years ago or last year did something kind of ad-libby, and that was fun. And there's a few others that have done that, but pretty much they're just reading from the prompter. So
nice. And I always loved David Spade. David Spade I thought was a great host, and I've always had a soft spot for him. I think he's pretty cool.
Yeah, he is. He went to Arizona State, where I went, too. That's kind of funny.
Really? That's kind of cool. All right, well, guys, we're going to take a short little break here. We're going to come back. We have a couple more topics. I want to talk a little bit about politics. I had Donald Trump here at our county fair in Northeast Ohio this past Labor Day weekend. That was interesting. I want to talk about for a second. And also, we're going to talk a little bit about ghost hunting. Ohio's just full of news this week. We have an LGBT ghost hunting group that is starting a new web series in October, and they're hunting for gay ghosts. Who would have thought? So you're listening to Standing on My Soapbox. We have Greg Archer as our fantastic guest host. Brandon Carmody, we'll see if you can stick around for the next segment or not. Thanks so much for calling in. We're going to take a quick break and play a song from our good friend Tara Naomi. This is You For Me. You're listening to the Left of Straight Radio.
Forget our plans. We'll say things more clearly in the absence of the light, and we'll realize there's nothing more than this tonight. I got what I want, and I got what I need, and there's nothing in this world but you for me. Yes, I got what I want, and I got what I need, and there's nothing in this world but you for me.
And we are back. That is Tara Naomi with You For Me. Tara, hopefully if you're listening to us, she is in Chicago right now with her boyfriend and a good friend of our show, Scott Turner Schofield, first transgender actor on daytime TV on Days of Our Lives. Scott is there doing a great seminar this weekend at the Center on Halstead for the LGBT Center there in Chicago. And Tara is in Chicago recording a new song for her new album. So Scott and Tara, if you're listening, thanks so much for being part of the Left of Straight world. We are back. I'm here with Greg Archer, fantastic actor, writer, producer, and we have our good friend Brandon Carmody from Gay News Radio calling in. If you'd like to call in, we still got about 25 minutes left here. 347-989-0126. We're talking all the hot topics of the week. And we're going to move on to politics just a little bit, guys. Sorry to bring the room down, right?
Yes, it's time. It was inevitable.
All right. Well, of course, we all have our own political opinions. And this is one of the reasons I started this show, guys. I did a couple test shows earlier in the summer But I am a huge political junkie. I'm a stalwart Democrat. I host the Democratic Party for my county here every Tuesday night. We do phone banking for Hillary Clinton. And I started to talk about it too much on my other radio shows. I thought, well, since those are entertainment shows, maybe I should try to find a show where I can talk political and not care if I upset anybody. My other shows, I want to be neutral. But here, we'll have a little segment now and then to talk about political. As you can tell from my preamble there, I'm not a huge Trump fan. We had, I'll give you my story, then I want to hear your guys' story on the election. My story this weekend, every Labor Day weekend in my little burg in Northeast Ohio here, our county fair is the biggest county fair in the state of Ohio. It's called the Canfield Fair, named after the city that it's in. And it's a big Labor Day extravaganza. It starts the Wednesday before Labor Day and ends on Labor Day. And every year, of course, the political candidates are there because it's usually political season sometimes, some years. And it was pretty hot and controversial there this year. And the sad thing for me was most of the fairgoers were huge Trump supporters, and it came out in a bunch of ways. One, the first thing that personally offended me and a lot of my friends here, and I posted on my social media, the Republicans at their tent at the fair, they actually were fundraising on building a wall. They said, help Trump build a wall, and we're selling bricks, regular red bricks for like $1 and gold bricks for $5, where you can write anything you want on it, your name, a funny saying, a hateful saying, anything you want to say. You can help the Republican Party help Trump build a wall, and they built this wall around their booth at the Canfield Fair. And guys, there was a lot of bricks in this wall. It was just, and to anyone that comes from a country other than the U.S., I just found it hugely offensive. My friends worked in the Democratic booth, and they said there was just some downright mean things said to them. And they had a couple of kind of testers out there. They had a stand-up paper cutout of Hillary Clinton and a stand-up of Donald Trump, and told everyone to take selfies with the candidate of their choice and post them online. Donald Trump won 64%. Hillary Clinton. They had one of the radio station booths had you donate to our Akron's Children's Hospital here, which is one of our city's children's hospitals, and put money in a jug for Hillary and money in a jug for Donald Trump. Donald Trump's jug won 3-1 in fundraising. Another booth did the same thing, kind of they put it on a scale. They had a balancing scale, and you donated one scale to Trump and one to Hillary, and that one won by like 3 or 1. And so it was just an amazing sight for me to see, because our county here in Northeast Ohio is probably one of the most Democratic counties in the entire state of Ohio. And if it's coming this way from our county, it's not showing real well for Ohio. I got to be honest with you. I'm a little worried on what's going to happen. No matter what the polls say, I'm kind of a little worried here. So that's and he came to the fair. He knew about this, and this was important enough for him that he actually flew his little private jet out to our little airfield here and went to the fair for about an hour or so on Monday, and had a huge bunch of supporters, people waving flags and lawn signs and things all over the place. But they were being downright rude and nasty to anyone at the Democratic booth on Monday particularly. So that's my tale of woe in my political adventures. Any political adventures for you, Mr. Gregory?
Well, I have purposely deleted the Huffington Post app from my phone, because every time I look at it, it's like those big and I write for them. So, but it's like the big bold headlines. It's like it can be a little overpowering if it can be a little overpowering if you keep looking at that. I did see what you were talking about, the bricks. I actually did see that in the news, and I don't know. I mean, I'm optimistic about this whole thing, even though it seems pretty bizarre and ridiculous all around. I tend to go, well, like what are some of the spiritual lessons we could be learning from this? And and I don't know, when I kind of talk about it, it sounds really Pollyanna, but if you really kind of take a step back and you look at everything that's going on, not just in America, but like around everywhere, like all this stuff kind of just rising to the surface, is kind of gook, you know. I mean, you don't spend 90 days on Maui without getting out of there without some sense of like spiritual something.